Hey guys, how's it going? I'm Lorraine and welcome to my channel. Now, just before I dive in there and pull your cards for today, I just like to say I am an experienced and professional holistic and spiritual counselor and mentor, and I offer 100% money back guarantee for image readings, tarot readings, also the programs, as well as spiritual and holistic counselling, mentoring, plus advice to help you with union with self and union with your person. And I also offer astrology birth charts. Just check the details in the description box below this video for more information. So let's dive deep, guys, and let's see what messages the cards have for you, for both you and your person's love journey thus far. And let's also see what messages the cards have for you about your person. Alright, so let's dive deep. So let's go. Okay. Alright. Alright, guys. So you're coming in with the Judgment card, and you were also coming in with the World card here. Alright. Well, it talks about wanting to take action here. When you're coming in with the Judgment card, you're coming in with Virgo. Alright, and I do seem to think at this point in time, Mars is moving slowly towards your sign here, towards Virgo. Alright. Okay. Alright, Sagi. Okay, so coming in with the Judgment card, you're coming in with Virgo. Virgo is actually coming in as your 9th house. Alright. And 9th house is about higher level of learning, high level of thinking, clearer communication. It's about knowing what you want, seeing through the facade in a sense here. And Mars is slowly moving into Virgo. Okay, I'll talk about the significance soon. Now, with the World card coming in, you're actually coming in with Aquarius here. And so Aquarius is in your 3rd house here, which talks about communication. Yeah. Alright. You have Pluto in your 3rd house, which talks about relationships, beginning new relationships, ending new relationships here in your reading. So what I get with those two cards coming in, and this could very well be both you and your person, there's a focus on oneself here. You're coming in with okay, in order for me to change, I know I've been talking about change a lot here, guys. Can talk about innovation in a sense. In order for me to change the circumstances that I am in at this point in time, then I really need to learn to trust that I know what's correct and what's right for me, as opposed to following an outdated belief system. This could be what was instilled in both you and your person here, guys. Yeah, from birth, from childhood, from adult life. And it talks about here is that you've followed those patterns and habits. You've followed that program. But coming in with the Judgment card, it's like the brakes are on here, guys. Because the Judgment card does talk about intuitive nudges, the wake-up call. all right, where it's a big realization about where you are at this point in time, how you got there, all right, guys, and where you want to go and what you need to do in order to get there. Okay, now what I'm getting here in your reading, what it's talking about here is that I'm the only one that can change the situation. That's what I'm getting here, guys. Okay, it comes in as, well, what I'm doing may not be working, so I need to change it up here. All right. It can talk about here in your reading, okay, so there is an element here of building new relationships here, guys, okay. It can talk about here also seeing, I want to say seeing your environment in a different light. It's coming in that way. Yeah, of course, it can talk about, oh, well, I really don't want to be in this environment anymore. I realize that this isn't working for me. It can even be a job here, guys. Yeah, it can even be a career move as well for both you and your person. Here, Sagi. Yeah. You know, it's like, okay, let's say, let's say 10 years ago, you just finished, you just came out of uni, all right? And you had spent 4 or 5 years learning to be a social worker. Let me come in that way, okay, guys? And you've worked 10 years at the job. And and over those 10 years, you've learned some really good things. You're pretty good at what you do. But at this point in time, you're looking at what you're doing and it doesn't make you happy. That's what's coming in with the Judgment card. Is it really about me? Have I really made these choices because I wanted to make these choices here? I had the freedom to make these choices, or did I make these choices because of the environment in which I was raised in? Here in your reading. 1 minute. And so when you're coming in with Pluto here, when you're coming in with Aquarius, and you do have Pluto in that sign at this point in time, it also talks about the relationships that you've built over time and the relationships you may not have invested in here. It's coming in that way as well here in your reading, because what it's talking about here is that what you want, what both you and your person are wanting here on a personal level, here, guys, it's coming in as you've got so far, all right? You've got so far, but so how do I take it to that next level here? That's what it's talking about. It's almost like, okay, so now I want to be manager. Now I want to be the CEO, in a sense, here, guys. I want another position. I want a bigger position, a higher paying position, in a sense, here in your reading. The way in which it's coming in here, guys, yeah. See, through the job that you do, and social work is only one, it's just one scenario here, guys. Through the work that you've done, what I get there is what you've learnt is how to fit people into boxes here and how to tick those boxes. But there's with those intuitive nudges, with that wake-up call, what it talks about there in your reading is that, yeah, I do get that with your 9th house, that higher level of learning, you're beginning to realize that people don't fit in boxes. That's what it's saying, or they shouldn't be put into a box. You shouldn't be using a tick list here to say whether or not a person is eligible here, or a person should get something, or a person shouldn't get something. That's all coming in here, because with the World card, in terms of that cycle, what it can also talk about there in your reading, Sagittarius, is going against the grain here. See, that's all part of that wake-up call here in your reading. It's like wanting to make changes here and how things are done. That's what I'm picking up. All right, let's get going here. I do get that this could be both you and your person here in your reading, just wanting some big changes here, but these changes are about, the process, the procedure here, the system, the framework, all of that. That's what both you and your person are wanting to change. And in order to change it, you've got to actually go to a higher level, is what it's saying here in your reading. That's what I'm getting with those two cards. But let me keep pulling some more cards, all right? All right, let's go. Okay, so you were coming in with the Eight of Wands, you have the Hangman card, and you were also coming in with the Death card here. All right, so the Hangman card, you're coming in with Pisces here in your reading. Okay, so Pisces is your 4th house. And your 4th house here is about your private life, the Hangman card. Now you're coming in with the Death card, which is Scorpio, and that's actually coming in as your 12th house here of transformations here. So that's pretty major here. Okay, and remember Pluto was actually in the World card. Okay, it's in Aquarius is what I should be talking about here, guys. All right. Now let's just have a look at that here in your reading. It's for both you and your person. It's about wanting to make some. The obstacles and challenge here is the big dream here. It comes in that way. The changes that you were wanting to make here, these are big changes here, guys, is what I'm picking up here in your reading. It's like, who should I connect with to talk about what I want to change here? This is both you and your person here in your reading, because you are coming in with the Eight of Wands. You are coming in with communication here, but this communication is about, so it's not just about who should I talk to, it's also about, so how do I do it? What do I say here in your reading to create the shift? It's a mind shift here, guys. And that proves to be an obstacle and a challenge here, because it does come in as the people that you're talking to with the Death and Transformation card here. You're coming in with new networks here, so yeah, transforming those relationships. But what I actually get here in your reading is that it's actually got to do with yourself, and it's actually got to do with your person. It's not so much the relationships here, guys. Yeah, the networking here, the idea, what it's coming in as here, guys, is having the confidence, yeah, the self-worth here to be able to communicate your true wants and needs correctly. That's what it's also talking about here. Yeah, of course, I will pull some more cards here. See, the 4th house is also ruled by the moon here, okay? And very soon the moon is going to be moving into Cancer, which is the 4th house, to be quite honest. here in your reading. And there is a really, and that's going to be quite significant here, because this is a time for rebirth. This is a time for new beginnings here, guys, for both you and your person. It's the new moon, and so the new moon brings about new beginnings here, guys, a new start. You do kind of get that here in your reading with both you and your person here. Let me pull some more cards though, guys, and let's see. Oh, excuse me. It's like taking something here. This is just a side note here, all right, guys. It's like taking something old here, or yeah, outdated, because because it's been many years that they've used that procedure, that process here, guys, that framework here, and wanting to change it up, wanting to make it more suitable to this, for this era here, to modernize it is what it's saying here. All right, guys, that's one side note I'm getting with those cards. All right, let's go. Let's see what else. Sagittarius. Oh, 1 minute. I've got my cards upside down. I'll just give it another shot. Now that was the Two of Pentacles in the reverse, and what I want to say there, guys, is that changes, like I said, the change is actually you here, and changes need to start. All right, you know what needs to happen here. That's what that Two of Pentacles in reverse is talking about. So you have to do it, you know. Let's go, guys. All right, right. Let's keep going here. Right, okay, so you have the Wheel of Fortune, you also have the Ace of Wands, and you were coming in with the Ten of Cups, excuse me, here in your reading. Well, potentially here, when it comes to your person, here in your reading, the cycle hasn't ended here. You're coming in with abundance here in your reading as well. You know, it talks about here, your person still finds you damn attractive. They definitely want to make the offer here. But what it can talk about there, okay, because we did talk about next level stuff here, guys, is actually taking it to commitment level here, full commitment with the Ten of Cups here in your reading, not just passion and desire here, okay, wanting more than that here, because that passion and desire has just been an ongoing cycle in a sense here, guys, is what it's saying. Was what it's kind of talking about here. If you want this, if you want to make these changes here, coming in with the Ace of Wands, then you have to go and get it. You have to make it happen here. See, the Wheel of Fortune, what the Wheel of Fortune can talk about is just thinking about it here. See, like I said, it actually starts with yourself. It actually starts with your person here. It doesn't actually start with the environment here, all the work that you're doing. It actually starts with self. That's what the Wheel of Fortune is talking about here. And well, you've got to realize, if you're just thinking about it here, guys, and you need need some advice, yeah, and you want to know a little bit more in terms of the direction in which you are wanting to go, or the right direction here, guys, then book an image reading, tarot reading with me, as I'm not just a tarot reader. Okay, if you want to know the difference between the image reading and the tarot reading, just check out the details in the description box below this video for more information here, guys. And also, I offer holistic and spiritual counselling and mentoring, and that may help you here, guys, to come out of that wheel of fortune here, where I will help you and, you know, guide you to release and transmute negative energy and attachments. And with the wheel of fortune, it can, and when we're talking about self, it can actually talk about low self-worth and low self-esteem here, so that you do take the action in which you were wanting to take here, guys. And so you come in with the 10 of Cups here in your reading. All right. Okay. Let's see what advice the cards have for you. Okay, all right, guys, so you are coming in with the 9 of Swords. I actually get the 9 of Swords as your person here in your reading. All right. So what the 9 of Swords can be talking about there is release the ego. Yeah. Surrender the ego and release the control here, because you can't control it. That's what the 9 of Swords, well, literally talks about. You know something's going to happen, yeah, but you don't have control over whether or not it's going to happen here. Yes, no one's listening is another way in which I can say that, and you can't say yes or no. They're going to do it anyway. That's what the 9 of Swords is saying here in your reading. That's one way in which I can put it there. Okay, guys, is surrender the ego and release the control here. Go through the ego death here. That's one way. Another way in which I can talk about the 9 of Swords is that it comes in as anxiety. It comes in as depression here, guys. Because once again, you don't have control, but you don't have control over oneself and the way in which you're feeling and the way in which you're thinking here. There's that fear to be seen. There's that fear to be noticed here. There's a fear to even walk out your front door. The 9 of Swords. All right, I'm going to leave it there, Sachi, and I'll catch you later. Bye.